The term Holocaust, originally from the Greek word holocauston, means sacrifice by fire, which refers to the Nazis' persecution and planned slaughter of the Jewish people. The Holocaust was a systematic, bureaucratic, state sponsored persecution and murder of 6 million Jews by the Nazis. It all started in 1933 when Adolf Hitler, the leader of the Nazi army and dictator of Germany, had a vision of a perfect race which consisted of everyone in Germany having blonde hair and blue eyes. The Nazis believed that the Germans were racially superior and that the Jews were considered to be an inferior and were a threat to the so called German racial community. During the Holocaust, the Nazis also targeted other groups because they viewed them as racial inferiority, such as gypsies, the handicapped, African Americans, and some Slavic peoples, and even groups because of their political, ideological, and behavioral backgrounds. These included communists, socialists, Jehovah's Witnesses, and homosexuals. It is estimated that 11 million people were killed during the Holocaust, in which 6 million of these were Jews, which was roughly two-thirds of the Jewish population living in Europe.
Adolf Hitler was born in Austria in the year 1889. He was most well known for eventually leading the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or the Nazi Party. Adolf Hitler started as a soldier in the German army during World War I and was disappointed with Germany's surrender in 1918. He began to climb the political ladder after this, giving speeches about how unfair the Treaty of Versailles was. Also, he was starting rebellions that would eventually land him in jail for a year, where he wrote his famous book Mein Kampf, or My Struggle. The Great Depression in Germany really gave Adolf Hitler a gateway towards political power. By 1933, the Nazi Party was the only political party left in Germany. In 1934, following Hindenburg's death, he was head of state and head of government, thus his dictatorship had begun. The Nazi Party had both political and social requirements. They banned non-Aryans, or people without blonde hair and blue eyes, from obtaining German citizenship. This prejudice against many people, mainly the Jewish race, is what ultimately led to the beginning of the Holocaust.
In the weeks after the Nazis came to power, the Nazi Party organized numerous detention camps to incarcerate real and perceived political opponents of Nazi police. German authorities established camps all over Germany to handle the masses of Jews being arrested. Although many people referred to all Nazi camps as concentration camps, there were actually a number of different kinds of camps, including concentration camps, extermination camps, and prisoner of war camps. Life in concentration camps was horrible. Prisoners were forced to do hard physical labor and yet given tiny rations. Prisoners slept 3 or more people per crowded wooden bunk with no mattress or pillow. Torture within the concentration camps was common and death was frequent. While concentration camps were meant to work and starve prisoners to death, extermination camps were built to kill large groups of people quickly and efficiently. Many of the concentration camps, such as the Auschwitz, which was the biggest and most well-known camp, had gas chambers. The prisoners were told to undress and step in the shower. Rather than a shower, they were led into a gas chamber and killed. The Auschwitz death camp operated 4 gas chambers where 6,000 people were put to death each day by the Nazis. After December 1934, the SS became the only agency authorized to establish and manage concentration camps, although local civilian authorities continued to establish and manage forced labor camps and detention camps throughout Germany. In 1937, only 4 concentration camps remained.
The Holocaust lasted for 12 years and finally ended on May 8, 1945. The Allies, made up of 17 countries including the US, France, the USSR, and Canada, began advancing on Germany with the plan to take over as many concentration camps as possible. Their first success was when the Soviets took over a camp in Poland in July of 1944. More and more liberations occurred after this one, and Hitler was slowly being removed from power. In January of 1945, Auschwitz, the biggest camp in the Nazi territory, was liberated. This liberation was a huge step towards ending the Holocaust. The Allied forces invaded Germany in 1945, and during this time, Adolf Hitler committed suicide. Following his death were the deaths of thousands of Nazis. Many of them also passed from suicide because they were instilled with the idea that death was better than being caught and punished for what they believed in. 50,000 to 100,000 survivors were living in occupied Europe during Hitler's reign. After he died, this number climbed to 200,000. Camps were built for the Jewish people who did not go home due to horror and threats of danger. They were moved to Israel, Palestine, and the United States. These camps existed until 1957, when everyone could finally return home.